Hi everyone, Gabi here. I'm a master NLP practitioner, an EFT coach, a mindset shifting coach, and a law of assumption coach here at Create Your Future. Thank you so much as you join me each week as we dive deep into the law of assumption to figure out how to make it work for you. Just wanted to share a couple of quick offerings. We are still providing a free course on how to identify and get rid of your blocks. That's in the description box below, so check that out. Also, my SP affirmation track is now ASMR. All right, ASMR. So go ahead and check that out. I will tell you, I've had so many clients have such success with this particular track. I use NLP techniques to bring you into the alpha state with this track. And as we bring you into the alpha state, we actually reprogram your subconscious mind right then and there. And with that, my clients are seeing amazing success. I've had clients that have gone from no contact to contact within 3 days of using my SP affirmation track. I've had clients that have been in a hot and cold, off and on relationship. Within 24 hours, they've had their SP confirmed and conformed, showing up exactly as their committed partner. So go ahead and check that out. That's in the description box below as well. Okay, so this week we're answering subscribers' questions. I actually am answering 2 subscribers' questions together this week in this video because they both are pretty similar and we're going to address them the same way. So let me go ahead and pull up the questions really quickly. So the first question is it possible to visualize wrong in the sense of I chose an unideal or a not ideal scene that does not really imply my wish fulfilled? And is it enough to repeat a very short scene? Sometimes it sounds like I have to see a whole movie. The same with inner conversations. I hear most of the time the same things. So that's the very first question. So let's go ahead and address this. So is it possible to visualize wrong? Okay, well, first of all, nothing you do is wrong. We decide what's wrong and what's right. So please change your perspective on that. Secondly, if you chose an unideal scene or a scene that you don't want, then what you are doing is you are still manifesting. You're just manifesting what you don't want. So you really need to focus on what it is that you do want. So oftentimes when a client comes to me and either they are really stuck in the 3D circumstances and conditions and the current story, or they're not really sure of what they want, we break it down to figure out exactly what it is that you want. So if you are currently in a situationship, if you're currently broken up with your SP, if you currently are in no contact with your SP, all of these are typically catalytic moments for you where you are recognizing this is not what I want. So you need to think about the experience of what you do want. Why do I say think about the experience? Well, there's a couple of reasons. The first reason is that the experience that you want will give you a very good idea of the thoughts and the feelings that come with that experience. Most of us have been living in our 3D human world for such a long time that it is very, it is easier for us to identify what we're feeling than it is for us to identify what we're thinking. But it's really important for us to recognize that our emotions are a secondary manifestation, meaning that that's the very first thing that happens after you think a thought. You think a thought and immediately you manifest that within your body. Your feeling is a manifestation of that thought within your body. So it's really important for you to recognize that, hey, if I'm feeling this way, it's because my thoughts are leaning in this direction. And I really need to change my thoughts if I don't like how I'm feeling, okay? The same goes with visualization. So if you are visualizing something that you don't want, you need to recognize this is what I don't want. And instead, we're going to lean for what you do want. So very first question that I ask my clients is, what do you want to experience? What does it mean for you to be in a relationship? When you're in a relationship, how do you want to feel? And it's very, very, very important for us to identify the difference between, oh, I want to feel happy, I want to feel in love, I want to feel pursued, I want to feel chosen, to the difference of, I want to feel content, I want to feel safe, I want to feel secure, I want to know that my person is committed to me. I don't want to question that. The reason being is because the experience, when we dig a little bit deeper, we recognize that feeling chosen is the same equivalent to us as knowing our partner is committed to us and that our partner is committed to us only. Okay. So we want to really go into that. We want to really find that experience and really ask ourselves, what is it we really want? Once you identify what it is you want, ask yourself, if I was experiencing this right now, what would I be thinking? What would I be feeling? So let's use an SP as an example. If you are currently not with your SP and you are visualizing or having inner conversations about your SP coming back, what are you focusing on? You're focusing on you two not being together and them returning, right? Okay. So is that the experience you want? Is the experience you want that you two aren't together and he's returning or she's returning? No, the experience that you want is that you are in a committed and loving relationship. The experience that you want is that you two are building your life together. The experience that you want is that you are reaching for, the next thing, the next level, the next chapter, right? So if that goes from moving in together to then engagement to then marriage, those are the experiences that you are wanting to have. So what would you be thinking if you were already with your SP and you two were discussing moving in together? You would be thinking about, wow, this is great. We're taking the next step. This is fantastic. I love that we are now thinking about this. I love that we're now discussing this. I love that we have a safe relationship where we can both express our fears and our concerns, but also at the same time work through them together. I love that it's us versus the problem, not us versus each other, right? You want to be moving towards that experience, okay? So once you've identified what the experiences that you want, that's what you need to be focusing on. Once you start focusing on the experience, there's really not a lot of room left for you to focus on what you don't want. And when what you don't want does come up, that's when you immediately ask yourself, okay, wait a minute, hold on. That's not what I want. So why am I giving it energy? Right? Okay. If you want to, you can kind of think of it in terms of your thoughts being a little bit of a bully sometimes, but you are in control of your thoughts, right? So you're not going to listen to someone who's bullying you, right? You're going to ignore them. You're not going to give them any energy or power. It's the same thing. Okay. The other thing with inner conversations or inner dialogue. So inner conversations and inner dialogue are you having conversations in your mind. So you hear that little voice in your mind talking to either your SP or yourself. And you might be actually having, for instance, an argument with your SP where maybe you are saying all the things in your head that you want to say to your SP and you're reacting in your mind as if your SP were talking to you. Okay. Again, is that what you want? If that's what you want, great, keep going for it. If that's not what you want, which you probably don't, then you need to stop and ask yourself, is this what I want? Because whatever you're putting your awareness and attention on is what you're going to manifest. So go ahead and switch that over. Have those inner conversations and inner dialogue around what it is that you want. What would it be like if you were in a committed and loving relationship with your SP and you guys were just talking about planning dinner? What would it be like if your SP was making reservations for you on New Year's Eve for a fancy dinner? What would you be having a conversation about? Probably, well, what's the dress code? What time do I need to be ready? Oh, I'm going to wear this outfit. Oh, I'm going to wear this jewelry. Oh, I'm going to do my hair and makeup this way. Okay. Or for the guy, if your SP is saying, hey, let's go to a party and I want to introduce you to my friends. Well, what are you going to be thinking about? You're going to be thinking about, wow, this is great. She wants to introduce me to her friends. I'm going to be meeting her friends. This is fantastic. I love that. I love that she feels so safe and that we're at that point in our relationship where she's introducing me to the people that she cares about and respects, and she respects their opinions. So I know that I have to make a good impression. Okay, I got this. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I'm intending it does. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the second question, because I think that this will also give you some additional context. Okay. The second question says, hello, I've been listening to subliminals at night, visualizing and scripting for a year, but I still find myself arguing with my SP in my head. I'm able to go back to my positive thoughts and techniques, but is this considered wavering and the reason SP comes and goes? Is it causing this delay? Every time SP comes in, I'm like, yes, movement, then he's gone. I thought I had saturated my mind good enough each time. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit more about what Neville talks about, which is called buying the pearl, okay? Buying the pearl means that you believe 100% without any doubt that you create your reality, and you create your reality with your thoughts. It also means that the law of assumption then has to be real, right? If the law of assumption states that we create our reality by choosing our thoughts, maintaining our awareness on those thoughts, and then those thoughts select the experience and bring that experience into our reality, then we must also believe that we create our reality by focusing on our thoughts. Okay? If A, then B. Okay? So if you are listening to subliminals, visualizing, and scripting, but also arguing with your SP in your head, then yes, you are wavering. Okay? Also, what you are doing is you are probably more than likely believing that argument to be more real than the technique support that you are utilizing. So let me clarify that, okay? Visualizing, scripting, subliminals, affirmations, intentions, these are all techniques. These are all techniques to move you to the version or state of you which already has your desire, okay? They don't do it for you. They don't manifest for you. You have to believe that by doing this, I am focusing my thoughts on this, therefore this will manifest, okay? So by doing a technique, I'm focusing my thoughts on X, therefore X must manifest, okay? If you are arguing with your SP in your head, you may be more likely to believe that the 3D circumstances and the 3D conditions are more true than what you are telling yourself in your mind. So your mental diet, right? And that's really what this is about. Both of these questions are about mental diet. So your mental diet is really and truly making sure that you are on top of your thoughts, okay? And this does cause a delay. Every time you are putting more attention and more awareness on what you don't want, and you believe that to be more real because of your 3D and circumstances and conditions are what you are believing are real, then what happens is you actually then start manifesting more of that and selecting more of that into your reality. So let me give you an example, okay? So if I believe that the ice cream store around the corner never carries my favorite ice cream, which is Jenny's Wild Berry Lavender, okay? They never carry it. They never have it. It's never available. They have all the other flavors, but they don't carry that one. And every time I go to the store, I tell myself, well, there's no point in looking because they don't carry that flavor. It's not going to be there. Then I go to the ice cream section. I open up the ice cream freezer. I look at all the Jenny's flavors and I see that there is no Wild Berry Lavender. What I have done is two things. One, I have manifested that there is no Wild Berry Lavender ice cream at my grocery store because 3D circumstances and conditions have told me time and time again that they don't carry it. So I believe that to be real. I already had an idea in my head that they're not going to carry it because they don't carry it because 3D circumstances and conditions have told me they don't carry it. And instead of me telling myself, oh, they're going to have it, I'm telling myself they're not going to have it. Therefore, what manifests into my reality is they don't have my ice cream flavor. Okay? So let's talk about how do we change that? Okay. If I'm thinking about, gosh, I really want Wild Berry Lavender ice cream, and I'm going to go to the grocery store, and you know what? In the past, they haven't had it, but that's okay. I know that I select my reality. So I know that if I tell myself, you know what? They're going to have it this time. This time, they have it. They have it. They got a shipment in. It doesn't matter. I'm getting it. I'm walking out of that store with my Wild Berry Lavender ice cream. And then I go to the grocery store, and I go to the ice cream aisle, and I open up the freezer, and I see Wild Berry Lavender. What I have done is I have no longer believed 3D circumstances and conditions. I've not accepted those to be real and true for me. Instead, I have accepted that I create my reality, that is real, that is true, that is a rule in my reality. Therefore, me saying they have wild berry lavender ice cream then selects the lavender ice cream to show up in my reality. Okay. It's the same thing with your SP. Okay. If you are believing 3D circumstances and conditions to be real, and you're telling yourself, well, you know what? My SP comes in and then he goes away. My SP comes in and then he goes away. This is coming and going. I must be causing a delay. I must be causing a delay because I'm arguing with my SP in my head. You have now created that selected reality. You have now said to yourself, that's what's happening. Okay. So in order to change that, we need to use our mental diet. Every time we recognize we're arguing with our SP in our head, we're having those inner conversations or inner dialogue, we need to recognize that's not what we want. We don't want that. We don't want to manifest that. We don't want to select that for ourselves. So instead, what do we want to select for ourselves? We want to select our SP is in, we're committed, we're in a wonderful, loving relationship, and we're going to keep moving towards that. We're going to keep doing that, and that is exactly what's going to show up in our reality. So how do we do that? We stay on top of our mental diet. Immediately, as soon as we recognize that we're arguing with our SP in our head, as soon as we recognize that we're having an inner dialogue or inner conversation with our SP in our head, even as soon as we recognize that we've woken up from a dream where we were not happy, right, with our SP, or we're seeing our SP do something that we don't like, as soon as we've woken up from that, as soon as we recognize that we're having this conversation in our head, as soon as we recognize that we are focusing on what we don't want, we need to stop and ask ourselves, okay, is that what I want? No. So what do I want? I want to be in a committed and loving relationship with my SP. I want my SP to absolutely adore me because I am adorable in all ways. I want to feel content and secure in a loving and committed relationship. I want to know beyond all doubts that my SP is madly in love with me, and that we are together and we are building a life together, and that we bring emotional maturity to the table, that we bring mental maturity to the table, that we support each other in all that we do. Okay. As soon as you recognize what you want, you start telling yourself that you have that already. You start telling yourself you have that already. And it's okay if you don't feel like you have it already. It's okay if you don't feel like you're hitting the wish fulfilled. It is okay if you don't feel happy. It's okay. It's okay. What matters is the thoughts that you are putting your awareness on. The thoughts that you are putting your awareness on, the mental diet focus that you're putting your awareness on. That is why I teach you guys to do a pattern interrupt. As soon as you recognize that you are having a conversation in your head that you don't want to manifest, pattern interrupt it, right? You can do that by a couple of different things. One, you can ask your brain a question. Your brain loves to solve questions. Ask your brain a question. Is this what I want? Nope. Okay, what do I want? I want this. Okay, if I had this, what would I be thinking right now? Boom, your brain then allows you to go into that experience, okay? Or if you are really in fight or flight mode, right? So you're feeling anxious, you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling panicky, then I ask you to do a pattern interrupt by like getting up and going and getting a drink of water, getting up and going and doing something for a full 30 seconds so that your brain can stop the spiral of the pattern that it's in, okay? This is your mental diet. Guys, this is what you guys have to be focused on. This is where your energy should go, okay? Your energy should go on your mental diet. You can use techniques to monitor your mental diet. That's what affirmations are for. Affirmations are just a technique of you monitoring your mental diet. So as soon as you recognize you're not thinking about what you want, you start focusing on what you do want, okay? Visualization, same thing. It is a pattern interrupt where you go into a visualizing experience of what you do want. Scripting should be the same thing. You should be focusing on what you are scripting as you are scripting it, not having a running dialogue in your head as you're scripting, okay? Techniques are all there to help you focus on what it is you do want. And once you start focusing on what you want and you believe that your awareness on focusing on what you want is what manifests into your reality, then guess what? It starts to show up. All right. That is my subscribers' questions for this week. I am so glad to have answered both of those. I think I actually got a third one in there because I think a client emailed in about dreams. So I think I got a third one in there. But I wish you all an amazing 2025 and all of your manifestations to show up and conform and confirm in your reality for 2025. Okay. All right. I will see you next week. Have a great year.